Ah, So good morning, everyone, and welcome to this day, this opportunity to come into this resonant field with us, really deepening into our love and our love for all relations. And we come here hosted by Good of the Whole and myself, Shelley Darling, and this morning welcoming John Brockett, one of our resonant stewards, who very generously brought forth this reflection this morning. So, given that we always start with a resonance, for those of you that are new, just invite you to relax and open into this most delicious experience where we come together to embody and express the field itself. And that's really what makes this call unique, is we're really letting go of our thoughts, allowing our mind to just drop into our heart, and allowing that heart to be the governor of this call, and really trusting that and speaking from our knowing. So with that, we always start with a little bit of resonance, and the invitation is just to relax. And if you're not driving, just closing your eyes. You can even put your hand on your heart just to feel that physical relationship with this living, open circuit of love that we're coming into. And this morning, we just open to the sensation of the field itself. So it is going into that sensate place of stillness, and yet it's a place where everything's moving. We're aware of even our physicality, the blood moving through these organs. And we can feel our feet and this natural heartbeat, just like a baby when that baby is putting its head on the mother's breast. We feel that sense of safety and connection. And honestly, we know that we're valued and loved. And the invitation is just to simply drop into that, open to that. It's a place where we can relax and receive exactly, precisely what we need. And it's that place where we can place our intention, and that transmission to the field itself is heard. And in this collective here this morning, the response of the universe shows up, deepening our experience, fulfilling our experience as a collective, and even tapping into the sensation of ecstasy, of our own beauty. And just taking another breath, allowing ourselves to just slip deeper into the slipstream of love and connection. Very gently coming back to present time in this beautiful tapestry of love with all these incredible beings here as an expression of good of the whole beings servicing the whole, the planet and everything on it. So with that, just continue breathing with us, and I'll come back after John opens with this beautiful resonant reflection, and then we will open it for a full participation with everyone. So with that, thank you, and I pass the beautiful crystalline talking stick over to John.
Good morning, everyone. Loving and the resonant field. Love is the point of departure. Love is the point of return. This is universal law. There is no other. Love is the eternal energy of the universe. Love is the visceral experience of source coursing through all life. It is the resonant field of which we speak. As we co-create with the resonant field, we engage in the act of loving. Loving is the boundless and borderless gift unconditionally offered by the infinite source for the infinite source. Through our union with the resonant field, we are being informed in the ways of loving. Beginning with loving ourselves. This co-creation becomes the template, the form from which we create, with our unique gifts and talents, new forms of loving for the good of the whole. As we rest in this resonant field, how might this amplify our capacity to be more loving? And I'll say that one more time. As we rest in this resonant field, how might this amplify our capacity to be more loving?
So just breathing into that, the invitation for those of you who are here, who might be new, really, it's really simple. We invite you to just continue being in that frequency and sharing from your knowing, 1 to 2 minutes. We love taking a pause in between each person so that energy can integrate, and just speak to the whole. Just continue that, following that thread of universal law that was just spoken about. It's as simple as that. So with that, blessings, and we open the field to everyone, and you can come back in more than once, but just allowing that movement to happen. The field speaks now. And I'm whole and complete. Thank you.
June, you're on mute.
Yes, I didn't. All right, there we go. I'll start again. Good morning. This is June from California. When I read the words of this morning's topic, I really just sat down and thought for a minute. What is different? We talk about sitting in love and feeling that closeness with everyone else, but what does it mean for me in terms of what does it allow me to do, or what does it encourage me to do that I might not be doing otherwise? And I think the main thing is that when I consciously sit in that place, I'm aware that I'm open to stretch, to grow, to learn something new. I'm not there to protect something I already believe. I'm not there to have anyone else believe that what I believe is right. It's an open, conscious place of wanting to grow, of wanting to let go of anything that doesn't work anymore. And when I hear someone say something that's different from what I believe in that state, I'm able to hear it in a whole different way. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm not trying to prove anything. It's such a glorious place to sit in that allows me to expand my love, to expand my understanding of life, and to expand my willingness to do new things that I never would have thought of doing otherwise. So that conscious resonant state is powerful, and it helps me to do things I simply wouldn't do on my own otherwise. And I'm complete. Thank you.
Well, I'm sitting here humming away. Resonance. I immediately I put my hand on my heart with resonance, and for me, this quieting of the mind comes so much more easily when I can speak the language of my cells. And this visiting of the inner dance of feeling, for me, humming Hama is the mother of the world. And she resonates with everything that I am and creates a porousness that begins to move through my very skin and spreads out. And my tailbone just kind of comes alive and sends these waves through the belly mind, through the heart center, to the mindfulness of the neurons of the brain, and like a blowhole, just whoa, just kind of spreads out as a fountain of life force. And so grateful to have players coming from this inner resonance to seeing all of you and the spreading out of the energy that can move so much, for me, so much more freely, heart to heart, love to love. And yeah, that is my entry, my beginning, and of love force to universe of divine wholeness. Everything is vibrating. Everything is humming.
I'm feeling the humming. And such a beautiful expansion. Feeling the field flowing within and around and surrounding us all, uniting us all from around the world, all in our different spaces. But where does the infinity of love come all the way back in like a vortex in a torus, right inside Oh, the inside where the heart feels, what does it? I wonder, what makes my heart, so feeling so deeply inside, feeling what we have in common. The moment in time that we share. Oh, and a heart beat in a moment in time. Oh, like the rest in between the notes of a symphony. No matter our instrument, no matter our melody, the rest is the singularity. That we share in a moment in time. Feeling the hum. That we are in resonance. I'm complete.
Well, I guess Kate's going to pick up the feather here briefly. Wow, just because my heart is singing. I mean, y'all have it humming, and I just feel this singing because, and it began. I think as I'm seeing all these faces and feeling all these feelings, I'm reminded of this wave, just a couple weeks ago, I'm in the room with all you people and we're doing this heart wave to one another. And, and I remember John, I think I had to speak for you, as a matter of fact, last week when you were in on John. And God, I wish I had my notes sitting here from that wave. But anyway, he spoke about, the notion of how we need to redefine this love of, got the gallery viewer, you're looking at yourself. That in this time and notion, and how we've relegated this love into, we haven't fractionated it out at all, and so we have all of these struggles that happen within that. But I mean, my heart is singing in this moment because what did I say? It feels like I'm in the midst of this B-flat universal force, like I'm with these new age disciples who are redefining love in words that can speak to anyone, and with the energy that makes me want to go there. And so, loving you all, and I'll return the talking.
Oh boy, I would love to follow up that thread. What I learn every time that I come here is that there is a greater communication than that of the word, the spoken word. And sound is one of those. Humming, chanting, singing, all of those are ways to come into prayerful love, resonance, heart-centered reality for us when we may be slightly off center, missing the mark. And isn't it glorious that we here know that intuitively, instinctively, at every part of our cellular level and wisdom? When we are in need of comfort, we put our arms around ourselves and we allow love to resonate throughout the body. And we breathe it. And it tingles through us. I think for myself that when I began to explore this unspoken form of communication, that's when I discovered the depths that love could take me, and allowed me to share that with all forms of life, and to be receptive to that love, that frequency that helps me to transcend myself. It is a gift. It is a gift that we receive from within the unified field, but also from within our own belief system, whatever that may look like at any given stage of our life. I'm just grateful that you are all pioneering. You're mining your own rich field and sharing that with us. Each one of you brings something unique to the good of the whole here. So I just want to salute each of you for that, and for the language and the way that you communicate, which comes spontaneously from your soul, perhaps. I don't want to name it, but wherever it is indwelling, you allow it to come out. Congratulations. You've made my morning, made my day, once again, as you always do. Thank you.
I would love to transcend the self and contribute a heart song. Thank you.
This is Shelley, and I just want to follow that because there's a song by David Pramal and Mitten, and it's called All Are Welcome Here, or at least those are the words. And that's what I'm present to in this moment, is that the field holds the space for all of us to come forward in our fullest expression in a way that I have to say throughout all my years of gurus and meditations and all different kinds of yoga and all kinds of things, that when we come together and we just open to receive the transmission of the field itself through us and as us, something miraculous happens always, as everyone's been speaking to. And I'm just feeling incredibly grateful in this moment. So I'm complete. Thank you.
This is Dinama in Southern Oregon. We feel the ecstasy of conscious, collective creating, co-evolving. We are source looking through our individuated eyes. And the joy and the challenge is living this frequency in every moment of the beat, the pulse of our life. And we are creating that now together. And it's a vibration, and it's the home frequency. I'm complete.
This is Henry in Colorado. We are each unique expressions of love, the divine, of light, of life. We are each unique expressions of the music of the universe that I'm experiencing through each person's expression. And different, like 50 shades of gray, more different flavors of opening. We are opening or expressing that invites our senses, both inner and outer senses, to awaken, to be invited, which invites the inner child within us that delights in the free expression, that delights in the field that allows each of us to be more fully who we are, to explore, to experiment, to understand, to know, to be present as we tap into this field. I love the connection, the deepening of the connection of love with the field that we co-create here, that we cultivate, that we find ways to express more fully in each of our lives, to the places of challenge, which help us. It's the challenges that help us to go deeper into expression of our unique expression of the love that we are. So I'm appreciating, each person's presence here and the different flavors that delight. I'm experiencing and sensing the inner child, the inner divine child in each of us that is opening, that wants to continue to connect with people all over the world in what is awakening, what is emerging. And another aspect of love is that emergent part. And so I'm grateful for this theme and for each person's presence and contribution. I am complete.
Kate's just noticing this sense of completeness is going into wholeness and unfurling, as our beautiful sister Shelley says.
Cassandra asking permission of the group to invite my brother to this conversation. He does not have a lot of practical experience as we do, but he has begun a very deepening aspect of his own journey. And he would benefit from seeing and experiencing how we enter into communion in a different realm of frequency that is perhaps unique to us, likely unique to our transcendence. So if you would just put that in your hearts and let me know, or let Shelley know. Julie, maybe one of them could email me. But I do ask your permission because we have such a great group here, and it would just be a way for us to model for a younger generation something that is so important to know. So thank you, beloveds.
So yes, and just let's keep this open flow happening and know that this is a place where anyone can come, and that we hold the space for the field to communicate with whomever. So yeah, and I pass that beautiful talking stick forward.
Good morning, everybody from California. This is Nancy. I love that less words are necessary the longer I go in my journey. I wake up every morning and I have this little prayer I say that is my rendition of a daily Hebrew prayer, and it basically says, Thank you for restoring my soul and allowing me to be of service and to be more loving. And that's how I start my day, as soon as I notice that I'm awake. And then the question comes to me, okay, Nancy, how do you want to do that? How do you want to do that? And I love that there's so many different ways to do that, and that we can all be the expression that we are. And my way of doing that is just being as much as I can, my authentic self each day. And it's kind of more of a grounded, earthy, sometimes I think I'm hiding my spiritual goddessness, but I know that I'm not. It's a part of me. It's how I express myself in the world. But something interesting happened the other night. I was home by myself watching a documentary on the 50-year celebration of Peter, Paul, and Mary. And I found myself crying 4 or 5 different times throughout this hour or 2 hours I watched this. And I kept noticing, why are you crying? That I just observed. I'm crying. I didn't judge it, but it was like interesting. Like, wow, something's really got to your heart here. And as we're talking on this call, I'm thinking that, Peter, Paul, and Mary, if anyone else here, maybe they did grow up in the 50s and 60s. This was close to the 70s. This was a big part of my life. And it was like this group, when they sang, they created a resonance for people all over. It brought people together. There was hope, there was connection, and I learned so much about them and their standing up in their power and doing what they believed in, even when it was dangerous to go to protests and so on. And I'm thinking, boy, this is my whole lifetime. And thank goodness I'm with groups of people in this resonant field. But how interesting that just by singing and being 100% of who they were, they could have this effect of impacting the world. So it's just amazing. I was so touched by that. And the songs they sang were unbelievable. I mean, I sang them all at summer camp when I was a kid. And I'll leave with one that's in my head. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try and love one another right now. Thanks for letting me share.
This is John in Colorado. Welcome to Colorado, Henry. So beautiful, the expressions, the co-creation with the resonant field. And that's what I've been holding in my heart, is loving. There's a union that's been difficult between being and doing. And yet the alpha and omega of the infinite resonant field allows us to take that love, to receive that love, and be loving. It's a verb. What actions can I do during the day, during my life, where I can loving? Not simply love, which is my visceral sensation, but we are remodeling, and someone beautifully said this morning, giving new co-creative visions of moving the resonant field for the good of the whole. And we do that through loving. I go to the store and speak to the cashier, how can I do that through my loving, through sharing the resonant field, to bring others into the resonant field through loving? It is an action for the good of the whole. The movement that I saw, the humming, the chanting, all of these are loving. It's offering the juice of love that comes from and through and returns to the resonant field. Our loving completes that circle, that infinite circle of love itself through loving. Alexander said it well. He says humaning. We are humaning. We are reinventing being humans through humaning. We can reinvent the static state that we've defined as love by loving, completely being informed in every moment, so that then we can inform and come into the whole community. We're very blessed to be in this circle of friends in the resonant field, and that reverberation is going out in the form of the new forms of loving. We're pioneers experimenting with these new forms, and I'm extremely blessed and grateful for every one of you and your form, your specific form, using your gifts and talents to be in the resonant field of loving. And I'm complete.
Good morning, buenos dias. This is Rosemary from Costa Rica. And perfect jumping in point for me at this point. Thank you for your share, John, because the moment I heard the title, Loving in the Resonant Field, I too thought as a verb, as a progressive verb, as a matter of fact. You know, the English teacher in me is in my cells, I guess. You know, the ing is the present progressive, the current, and I'm using that word purposely, current, to tie into the rest of my share. The current of the flow of what the field that we co-create together by showing up feels like. And when I realized that the title is Loving in the Resonant Field, the very first image that came to me and has stayed with me throughout this call thus far is the infinity symbol, with its gentle flow from left to right, right to left, and always meeting in center. In the center, which is the point of unification, the center of wholeness. And putting back into words that flow, that sensation of moving like water. How beautiful and fluid is love, as is water. And the connection even goes deeper for me. One of my favorite authors is Dr. Edmund Bordeaux-Seekley. And from one of his books, he says, water is the reflection of love. And that resonates very deeply with me, as water being the expression of love. We're 80% water physically. We come into this world being immersed for 9 months or so in water. And that's where life begins, and that's where love begins. So loving in the resonant field, to me, is living in the resonant field. And simply by, again, exchanging that O in loving for the I in living, we come up with wholeness. The O and the I together create the wholeness. So yes, life is currently flowing. It's joyous to be free and purified and moving with the currents of life, the currents of love. We are love. And it's such a beautiful space to be able to flow together. So let's all be flowers or flowers as we move together down the stream, up the stream, wherever, and enjoy the ride. Let's go rafting. I'm complete. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, this is Julie from Nebraska. Can you hear me now? Yes, okay, thanks. I'm having technical difficulties with my very loved computer here. I love that so much is moving, and I just want to share what occurred to me of just following that flow. And I love this idea that love is the departure and love is the return, and then saying we are that love that just came through. Let's flow with that. And I had this thought this morning. This is my beloved grandfather's tuning fork. My grandfather was a piano tuner, and he wore this on his belt every day of his life, I think. I don't know how many he probably replaced over the years, but he was a piano tuner. And this is his 440A tuning fork. I love it. And when I think of this conversation, what was moving inside of me is how we are being tuned. Oftentimes we separate ourselves and we say we have to tune into this higher frequency. And we separate ourselves and we say, let's have an attunement to bring us into that space, this loving resonant field. And yet in all times and all space, that love and that source that's tuning us is outside of time and space. That's why the humming and the sounding and the beautiful music and toning that comes through, it doesn't put words in to make us come back into separation to try to see ourselves. Like beautiful Peter, Paul, and Mary had beautiful words that bring us back to that place. But without the words, we lose ourselves so much quickly and come back to that place of being tuned. We talk about being informed from this field and informing this field. It's this beautiful co-creative relationship that when we're allowing ourselves to be tuned to that love, there is nothing else. So I love that idea of not just tuning in and attuning to that comes from that place of separation, but allowing ourselves to be tuned. I might add this to my little daily meditation of how am I being tuned? I love that prayer, that morning prayer of Nancy. So I just wanted to share my beloved grandpa's tuning fork to really allow us to come into that place of that departure and that return is allowing us to be tuned by that love. And with that, I'm complete.
Julie, would you be so kind to consider offering the sound of your grandfather's tuning fork to us? I would enjoy that. Thank you.
I will try. I have my sound on the phone, so I'm not sure how quality this will be, but let's see what we can do here. She was humming. I hope you got some of that.
That was the perfect sound, Julie. Thank you.
So this is the time in our call where those of us that have shared, to hold banks of the current frequency, this home frequency that we call here. And for those who haven't had a chance to share, to be able to bring forth that flowing wisdom that sits always within the field. So for those who haven't shared, please feel free, even if it's just to come and share your name. The vibration of your name is everything. Or just bring forth just what's moving in this beautiful currency forward. So I'm complete.
This is Anita from Copenhagen, and just putting in my voice and loving the flow and the flowering that's been going on, and the reflection of love in water. I'm going to take it all with me, and the sounding and everything. It's been a beautiful call. Thank you all.
Well, the unfurling does cause me to tell you that these are the Unity concert ashes. And that's, because I grew up with Peter, Paul, and Mary. It was like my mom's favorite, so, but I actually got to sing if I had it. So I was always a volunteer at the Unity concert. And I don't even know Gilbreth. I can't even tell you his last name. But I could call Bethany Yarrow, Peter Yarrow, that's his name, Peter Yarrow. And his daughter Bethany, I could call any one of them at any time if we need anything. And I have the ashes from the Unity concert. Anyway, I just, I got to sing If I Had a Hammer with Peter Galbraith around this tree in the heart of Turtle Island a few years ago. So I just want to put that into the vibration there as I'm holding the ashes. And I'm waiting to hear from Michelle, but, I was kind of feeling unfurling. So eternally incomplete, I will feel whole and unfurling again.
Good morning, everyone. This is Karen in Costa Rica. What a wonderful call. And thank you, John, for posing that question. I've been contemplating that since I read it last night. I read that, and I think my first response was, good question. How do we do this? So thank you. That's been very thought-provoking. And I loved hearing everyone and everyone's voices in this wonderful sea that's of the resonant field that's created here every Monday. So thank you all. And it's a blessing to be here, and I'm grateful. And Angel wants to say hello. I can't hold her back. She keeps pushing.
And so does Mr. Rogers, the epitome of love. He's been with us the whole time. Blessings.
Okay. Just embrace, there's no forcing sharing here, but we hold you in the field, Michelle. And I just want to say that Michelle has been one of the most inspirational people for me in my life. And her heart is huge, and it's without even any words, it's reverberating in this space. Thank you so much for who you be. Yeah. So, yes, so we have a really special way of ending this call, but before we do, I just want to say that for those of you that came on because you saw it on Facebook, and I posted the Zoom link, which is not necessarily something that we do all the time, but maybe doing more. Please come and come into go to goodofthewhole.com, and if you would like to receive these beautiful resonant reflections each week, because they are, even if you can't get on, the replay is always on the Facebook page, Good of the Whole, and so you can always be informed by the field through these calls. Really brighten your week. And again, just go to Good of the Whole and go onto the resonance offering and click in there, and you'll be able to receive this. Or just go into Good of the Whole. So with that, the way that we end this call is we always unmute. Everyone gets to unmute themselves, and we have this beautiful choir of vibrational yum, and we send it
I feel
out.
like I need to at least hear Michelle say where she's from. Please.
So
I'm like 50 miles north of Julie, and I'm so sorry, but I actually have to leave the meeting. I have another meeting that's starting now, and I love you. Mwah. Goodbye.
Love you. We can leave her with a yum,
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 yum, yum, yum,
yum,
yum. Shalom.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you here same time next week. Love you, and come on and join us for the Mentoring Resonance. Mentoring Stewards call on Wednesdays. Love you. Bye.